We acknowledge that where we are today is on the traditional lands, meeting grounds, and traveling routes of the Cree, Saulteaux, Blackfoot, Dene, and Nakota Sioux nations. This territory is known today as Treaty 6 territory and is also home to the Métis Nation. We acknowledge all the many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit whose footsteps have marked these lands for centuries.
They shall not grow old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them. We will remember them.
The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. John. Glory to you, O Lord. Jesus said to his disciples, "This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you. No one has greater love than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. You are my friends if you do what I command you. I do not call you servants any longer, because the servant does not know what the master is doing. But I have called you friends, because I have made known to you everything that I have heard from my Father. You did not choose me, but I chose you, and I appointed you to go and bear fruit, fruit that will last, so that the Father will give you whatever you ask him in my name. I am giving you these commands so that you may love one another." The Gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. My dear friends, on Remembrance Day, there are several things that I think are very, very important for us to think about, to consider. First of all, when we think about Remembrance Day, we always have to remember all those many people who sacrificed their lives in defense of our country and of our freedoms. And not only the people who died, there were many people who came back from the wars that have been fought, mostly overseas, that have been really wounded inside of themselves, either in their bodies or in their minds. And the families who have lost loved ones and those who have loved people who have come back very much changed from the way that they went over. And so it's very, very important for us, I think, to consider, to think about all of the sacrifices that have been made for us and for our freedoms, to pray for those who have died, to pray for their families, and to ask God to help them, even when the wars, some of the wars that we consider, obviously happened many, many years ago, but we always have to consider and think about and treasure the sacrifices that have been made for us, from people back a very long time ago, but even people more recently who have sacrificed themselves in our defense, in defense of our country, in defense of our freedom. But another reason I think that we have Remembrance Day is for us to remember how terrible war is. It's an awful thing. And especially in our day and age, so many people are killed, so many people are hurt, so many people are sacrificed, so many bad things happen. And it's a reminder to us to not have wars again. And we might say, oh yeah, we don't want any wars. But how do we start that? How do we avoid having wars? Well, we follow what Jesus told us in this reading today. Love one another as I have loved you. If we follow what Jesus has told us, if we try to love one another, and this means in our own life, not hurting other people in our own families, not hurting other people in the school, not bullying anybody, not doing anything like that. We have to avoid those kinds of things, because all of those sorts of things, all of the things in which we treat other people in an unfair way, in a mean way, in an unjust way, all of these things are things that create division among people, and those divisions are things that one day ultimately can lead to bigger fights and even to wars. So we want to follow what Jesus tells us here, to try to love one another and to ask God's help, because we can't do this simply by ourselves. We need God's help, that we can have this kind of love for one another so that we will have peace in this world and one day enjoy the fullness of peace in God's eternal kingdom. So I think that these are the two things that I would like to place before you today. First of all, to remember people who have sacrificed for us and have helped us so that we can have a better life. And secondly, we want to remember how terrible war is, so that we can do everything in our power to try to avoid the terrible reality of war.
100 years ago, an inspiring woman had a vision. A bright red poppy to honor veterans who lost their lives in the First World War, and to help raise support funds to help others in the aftermath.
The idea was conceived by Madame Anna Guérin of France, sparked by John McCrae's poem In Flanders Fields. Anna had originally founded a charity to help rebuild war-torn regions of France after the First World War.
Poppies made of fabric were sold to help her charity. She presented the concept to France's allies, including the Great War Veterans Association in Canada, which later became the Royal Canadian Legion. The idea was adopted, and the poppy symbol made its first appearance in Canada on July 6, 1921, the year of the first poppy campaign to support our veterans. To mark the symbol's 100th anniversary in 2021, the Royal Canadian Legion produced a replica of the original fabric pin.
The familiar image has come to reflect the sacrifices of fallen Canadian veterans from all arms of the military and from all missions, including 2 world wars, Korea, Afghanistan, Bosnia, peacekeeping duties, and other assignments.
Canada's Parliament entrusted the Legion with the exclusive right to use the poppy as the nation's symbol of remembrance and to safeguard its image, a pledge it honors today.
100 years later, the symbol is unmistakable. Its meaning still deep.
The poppy of remembrance honors sacrifice. The poppy of remembrance cries, never again. The poppy of remembrance reflects solace and support.
Anna Guérin's vision lives on.
To learn more about how the Legion helps veterans, Visit legion.ca.
In Flanders fields, the poppies blow between the crosses, row on row that mark our place. And in the sky, the larks, still bravely singing, fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you from failing hands we throw the torch. Be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders fields.